Hello, 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 hello. Hello. How is everyone? Sorry, no cam today. As some of you know, I'm getting over like a cold that I've had for the past 2 weeks, which is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Up. Let me make sure my stuff's on here. Okay. Who's all here? What's up? How you doing? Oh, weird. This is put to online. Okay. Hi, Desperado. I sound good for being sick? That's great. Awesome. I'm glad. Thanks, Alex. I've had that there the past couple months, but I don't think it's been as noticeable as now, especially since it's like bright red. Thank you. So yeah, for the curious collectors, I'm gonna try to actually put those little pieces on the button and magnets. I've got them basically all ready, and now I just have to, like, here are the little guys, the little attachments, so to speak. And then if I have any big coughs or sneezes, I'll be sure to mute it. But where did I put my other thing? There it is. Okay, so it hasn't been turned into buttons or magnets yet, but that's the piece. This is what they look like before I cut out the tops. So that'll go up there behind it, and then I'll laminate these guys, and then he's gonna actually sit probably around right there. And then this guy goes right here. So it's the most intricate Curious Collector I've done so far, but anyway, it should be cute. Should be cute. Let me turn off my stuff. Is she not going? Why is she so adamant? So anyway, the biggest pain in the ass I have with these right now is cutting out the bottle tops. Each one of these I have to cut out. And I wish I could use the Cricut for that, but I can't. It's kind of an intricate process, but believe me, there's no way to do it. How's our coronavirus? I don't know what I've got. Maybe it's the coronavirus, but I doubt it. But I've had whatever I've had since March 3rd. And I keep thinking it's in remission, whatever it is. And I'll have one good day, and then the next day I'll feel like absolute crap. Bernie, you gotta go with Papa. Gabe, grab, like, cheese. Actual cheese. Like, shreds of cheese. Well, that's peanut butter. It's not cheese. Oh, I don't think that's gonna help. Like, if you get some cheese, she'll do it. Quarantine. Oh, we've been quarantined. I actually haven't left the house legitimately in 2 weeks. Like, not even to, get in the car. I haven't been in the car for, like, 2 weeks. I've gone out for walking the dogs, but that's it. Like, that is freaking it. Luckily, Gabe hasn't. I thought he's getting sick because he was sneezing and stuff one day, and then he just bounced back and he was fine. So he hasn't gotten this. Whatever I got it from C2E2. So there's that. So I'm very slowly working through all my Patreon stuff and the remaining portraits I've got, but I'm a little bit thankful for all this hubbub because, I mean, when you're behind anyway and then the world starts melting down and everybody's behind, then it's okay and you feel a little bit better. So as bad as this is, I'm going to say silver lining that I've got a legitimate excuse right now instead of being like, I'm sick and people thinking I'm using it as an excuse. It's an actual excuse now. So that's good, but I have been crazy tired. Like yesterday, I woke up, I had like 7 hours of sleep, and I was still tired. And I was like, oh, I'm just groggy. I managed to stay up till 5 p.m. and then I just start crashing, unable to do anything. So I'm like, I'll take a nap because Alex suggested a nap, and I was like, maybe not. And then I was like, yeah, okay. And then I took a nap. It's like an hour and a half nap. Felt great. I don't know why naps always feel so much better than actual sleeping for me, but they totally do. And I woke up and I had been pounding caffeine all day just to keep my eyes open. And then after that, I was still tired and the nap. So I'm like, if I've done caffeine and a nap and I'm still tired, something's wrong. So I must still be sick. So I've been waking up every day trying to be like, yeah, today I'll exercise and work out. Because I haven't gone 2 weeks without exercising in years. So this is really messed up. I'm really like disoriented. Not to mention, Emerald City was supposed to be this weekend, and Gabe was supposed to be there. And so he's not, so that was money we missed out on. And luckily, it's not like, I mean, yeah, conventions are my main source of income, but I have other sources too, luckily, like Patreon, thank God for, and just basic income anyway, which, it's not going to make the bills, but at least it's there, But other people have commissions as their main source of income, and they're freaking out. And so people are trying to do like artist alleys online and all this sort of stuff to try to make ends meet. So everybody's stressed, everybody's screwed. I'm really curious to see what this all does in the grand scheme of things. Like do you think we're going to get passes from people who are paying rent and stuff because of all this, and no one's making money, and like waitresses and junk, like the people who make a lot of their money off tips, what are they gonna do? Kids who can't get food because they usually get fed by the school and not home, what are they gonna do? Like, I'm worried about everybody else more than myself, honestly. Gabe and I are usually in a pretty good position. We usually have a couple months of money saved up. So that, I'm not freaking out yet. We're also not the jerks hoarding toilet paper. So, 2 naps, Sheldon. Damn. 4 hours. Well, you've been through a lot of stress lately, so I think you're absolutely justified to do that. So you take as many naps as you need, you and your fam. Big announcement. I'm probably moving to YouTube. I've been thinking about it for a while, and just, like, there's no traffic on Twitch anymore. We started Twitch in 2016, and since then, it's just been... Oh, camera, what are you doing? Hold on, I gotta turn off my autofocus.
Thanks, Ninja.
Yeah, thanks, Ninja. Ninja left Twitch. Everybody's freaking left Twitch. So, but it doesn't really matter, because honestly, we weren't getting any traffic anyway, because we're artists. It's a gaming platform, right? So at least YouTube kind of has a bigger artist community. But yeah, the past 2 years, awful. The first 2 years we streamed were great. We got lots of donations, lots of subs, lots of bits. We had a good time, lots of people following us. But then again, we were streaming like 6 times a week, and we just can't do that anymore. But at least YouTube has, like I said, a more balanced, demographic, I think, for artists at least. So we're probably going to go over there. We don't get as much traffic here. Are you serious? You have 800 rolls of toilet paper? Tell me you're joking.
Who is that?
It's Shaladron. You tell me you're joking. Don't be that guy. There's no reason for you to have that much.
You know who's gonna feel really...
Thank you, Kristen, for chiming in. I'm so mad at those people.
Earlier I had said to you, Karen is gonna go out there and buy like all this like bread and things that'll spoil.
Right.
And you're like, oh no, she'll just freeze it all.
Yeah.
But then you know what? She'll keep buying fresh stuff because she's like, I don't want to use frozen stuff. And then a year from now, she's going to throw it all away because it's freezer burn.
Wow, that's thinking pretty far ahead. Yeah, no, you're right.
That's what Karen will do.
No, I read an article about this guy, this asshole guy, who went around and what?
It's on like nothing but Twitter. Like everyone's.
Okay, well, not everyone's on Twitter.
I know. I'm just saying.
Shut up, Gabe. Shut up. I'm also irritable. There's a guy who, for those who haven't heard it, because apparently Gabe thinks everybody's heard it. For those who haven't heard it, there's a guy who, like, when this all started, he went around getting all the hand sanitizer from, like, Dollar Trees, Walmarts, everything. He'd buy it all out. His garage was full of it. And now he's complaining that he has nowhere to sell it because both Amazon and eBay are shutting down people who are, exploiting it and trying to get more money for it than it's worth. So he can't sell it anywhere online. So he's just got this garage full of inventory, like toilet paper and hand sanitizer and all that stuff. And he's like, what am I supposed to do for my family now? I was going to make so much more money for my family. Now what am I supposed to do? Now I can't sell it. It's like, bro, you were trying to exploit the system and people. You are a bad man. You do not deserve that money. Even if it's for your family, you suck. So this is what you get, oh my God. I can't stand people like that. It's like, when people are in their worst times, you're exploiting them for their money just so you can live better. Fuck you. You deserve to, not get anything. It's just, and the whole article almost feels like it's trying to make you, feel sympathy for this guy. And the whole time I'm like, nope. Nope. Screw this guy. What a jerk. Yeah, you think you're smart, but you're just an a-hole, so you're gonna get yours. Anyway, there's that guy. So I'm gonna do some Lightmouse here and just try to get ahead of tomorrow's post. I stopped posting it on the weekend because you don't get any traffic on Instagram or any social media really on the weekend. If I ever post on the weekend, it's because it's probably a piece I don't really care too much about, or I don't want too many people to see, but I think I should put it out, stuff like that, because really you do not get any hits on the weekend. But yeah, we're gonna be moving to YouTube. Sorry to you guys that are on here, but if you're subbed to me, you might want to unsub. I don't want to get rid of my Twitch. I might do it every so often, just to stick in with those of you who don't want to go over to YouTube. We'll do it time and time again, but I think mainly I'm going to start going to YouTube. They have a 70-30 split of all their revenue too, where here it's 50-50, I think. So we get more if we're on YouTube anyway. YouTube Live, probably. We'll do both eventually, because I always wanted to do more recorded, edited videos, because that's actually one of my strengths. I went to school for it. I'm good at editing. I have fun with it. It's one of my things, and I never got to do that with live stuff. I just haven't had time. And this year, since now cons are kind of canceled, but also I just took this year off anyway. What good timing, by the way. I'm going to have that time, so, should be better. I think that's right. Also, hi Matt, hi Alex. Matt, your stuff should be going out before Wednesday. I'm going to try to get, I got your order and another one that I got to get out. But yeah, so the internet's going to be kind of crazy nowadays because all these artists now are competing, literally competing now hard style to get money from people because all their cons are canceled and stuff. And I feel bad, so I'm going to plug these people too, because they're majority of them are fantastic people. They're part of my con group, and I like supporting them if I can. Gabe's on here too, but feel free to look through all the artists and, look at what they've got. A lot of them have sales right now that they'd be having at the conventions. But yeah, they're all losing money because they're supposed to be elsewhere and they can't be. So it kind of sucks. man, he's supposed to be way more bending down. I don't want to change that though. Let's see. I should have mapped them out a bit better. These were my thumbnails. They're this simple. So, just because when I'm streaming I can't really think. Especially if I'm foggy sick. Oh my god. This has been so bad. No, the amount of space, Alex, between this arm and this head are wrong. I can't just... Believe me, if I could, I would. But no, the space where his shoulder is here, reaching around his body, I would have had to turn his shoulders a bit, so I can't really... I can have him, like, stop for a break, I guess. Yeah, maybe I could do that. It's this kind of crap. Seeing as a story, I want to go fast. Gotta go fast. I'm not taking too much time. Like, if I actually make this into something, I will go back and make all these really, important fixes that actually affect the story. But for right now, I don't know. I'm also trying not to sweat, I guess, social media stuff much lately. So, a lot of the time, I'm just putting up posts because I really got to detach from it. It was affecting me a lot this year. You don't want to, like, compete with people, but you gotta compete with people because we're all artists. We're all going out for, trying to get people to enjoy our work and all that stuff. So it sucks because you gotta tell yourself you're not competing, but you really are competing, and no one wants to talk about it, but everybody's doing it. It's tough. It's really tough. Yeah, but still sick. Sorry, Matt. Listen, man, I thought I was okay the past 2 days. I actually didn't have any coughing or nose stuff like 2 days ago. And then yesterday I just got hit with mad fatigue. Took naps, took caffeine, nothing was helping it. And it's like today I've still got what I'm calling leftovers, which I think is still gross, but Anyway, sorry if that irks anybody. Yeah, I'm thinking, 2 days more maybe and I'll be good. It's just, this is so dumb. I don't even know what I have. I mean, it's like kind of flu-ish, but I don't know. I looked at Corona stuff. I probably don't have that. I'd like to believe I don't have that. I think I'd be in a lot more trouble if I did. Oh, that looks like his finger. That's not his finger. Go. Oh, I actually sound great now compared to the other days. I sounded like a smoker. And I would talk the Boston accent and stuff. We also watched Moonstruck. I don't know if anybody's seen Moonstruck with Nick Cage and Cher. God, is that a movie? It was so weird. The first 20 minutes, we couldn't figure out what kind of a movie it was. Like, if it was supposed to be, like, tongue-in-cheek, if these people were, joking. Like, what is going on here? Good boy, Chancho. Aww, look at you. Oh, what a good boy. But yeah, that movie, wow. There's some funny parts in it, but it's all over the damn place. It's really strange. I don't even know what kind of a movie to put it in. It's like some weird kind of rom-com. I don't know. I watched a lot of movies when I was sick. I always get into this mode where I watch Ghibli movies and rom-coms when I'm sick. I love rom-coms when I'm sick. It's great. But I always have to watch Howl's Moving Castle. That's my crack, when I'm sick. And then I finally watched When Harry Met Sally. And I think that was so cute. That's probably my favorite Meg Ryan rom-com. And Billy Crystal was so cute. I actually liked it so much. Some of you are going to think I'm crazy for this, but I watched it again a couple days later because I was sad because they hook up like at the very, 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 very end. And you're like, oh man, you know, I wanted more of their relationship. And so I shipped that so hard. They had such chemistry and it was so unique and funny. I just had to I had to watch it again. I don't know, it's so cute. The script is really damn good too. It's not like a typical rom-com, but like it's so quippy and smart. I don't know. Dan in Real Life. Yeah, that one's sad though. Like that is a really sad movie. And I don't like seeing funny men, you know, funny comedic guys sad. Like any Robin Williams movie where he is sad, it's extra tragic. And especially, oh my God, any movie with Robin Williams where it's a drama and he's actually like contemplating suicide because in real life now it's like a double thing, so it's even worse now. And it's like, oh my God, I can't. We can't exactly go see the doctor, Matt. We don't have health insurance. But I haven't gone outside, so I haven't gone downhill. I've just kind of, like, I'll go back up and I'll plateau, and then I'll go back up and I'll plateau a little. I'm getting better. It's just super, super slow. Oh, okay, Alex, if you like You've Got Mail, I think you'd like When Harry Met Sally more. Because I did watch You've Got Mail afterwards, and I've seen it a bunch of times. But also, I just want to say for the record, Sleepless in Seattle is a freaking creepy movie. Okay, I saw that for the first time a couple years ago. I was like, this is actually not okay. She's like a stalker. Okay, it's not sweet at all. If you watch that and you think about it, it's like, no, this isn't okay. Like, if you reverse the roles, and if Meg Ryan's role was a guy and Tom Hanks's was a girl, that is not okay. That movie is creepy as shit. I can't. It's not even cute. Okay, Matt, you're paying for it, though. Let's see. I know this looks like a dress, but it's totally not. But yeah, no, I know. If it gets worse, I promise I'll go. But it hasn't. And Gabe hasn't gotten it either, so I was scared when I thought he did. I started just, like, doing everything for him. I'm like, what do you want me to cook you something? You want me to take care of the dogs? What do you want me to do? Like, because he had done so much for me while I've been sick. So I'm like, I'm ready. I'm batten down the hatches. I'm ready. I'll do whatever you need. But luckily he didn't get sick. He's kind of pulling the weight of everything right now. So bless that guy. Look at you. Are you so comfy? Good boy, Jojo. Good boy. How are you guys doing, though? Enough about my crap. But yeah, if you got any artist friends, you might want to check in with them, make sure they're okay. A few of them have gotten dealt some serious blows. There have been at least 5 cons either postponed or canceled in the past 2 weeks. Like Anime Boston, I think, got canceled. That was a huge one. Planet Comic-Con, Spectrum, that got canceled or postponed, I can't remember. Emerald, obviously. Like, there's a whole bunch. Who am I kidding? I can't draw this straight line. I need a thing. I need a straight edge. Oh, I was thinking about doing another little story about this guy. This little porcupine. I'll have to figure that out, though. I don't think people on Instagram like my mini stories, so I might have to find another place to put them. But it's weird, because I don't want to tag comics, because they're not exactly comics, you know? But I also don't want to tag, like, I don't know, it's hard. Like, these aren't a thing, apparently. Yeah, Despero, totally. All your like cosplay friends, I suppose, are probably looking forward to that pretty hard. Yeah, so make sure, check in with your friends, make sure they're okay. Some of them depend on the money. They need help, all that stuff. I mean, even if you can't help them with money, just for their like mental state. Especially artists. I mean, to be fair though, a lot of us have been preparing for this sort of deal for a long time. Like, I usually don't go out anyway, so this isn't too bad, too different for me, but I at least usually go to the gym and like the grocery store, and I haven't done that in weeks now because of being sick and then getting quarantined, technically, whatever. It's kind of scary, but also it's not too far off from the norm for me, at least. I hope no one else gets sick. I hope none of you guys get sick. Yeah, Gabe is a blessing no matter how you look at him. He's a good guy. He's definitely one to sacrifice his well-being for others. He's a blessing. He's a good one. And right now he's taking care of the dog so she doesn't cry on my stream. Alright, let's see. So this panel I'll probably change slightly, but I'll copy the thing and then change it a little bit, because in the background is going to be the bird coming in. So I'm going to have him get closer in the next frame, but in this one, you know, he's like this, and then he's going to notice in the next frame that he's coming up. Oh, we're in a church. This is kind of a spoiler, I guess, for the story, so if you haven't been looking at it, oops. Let's see. Sorry, I'm not gonna... Uh-oh. Hold on.
I'm reminding you.
I have her remind me every day to do an Instagram post. But on the weekend, it sucks. Crazy lady. Alright, so let's just color this one, I guess. But yeah, for those of you who are my patrons, I am freaking beyond grateful for you. Especially right now. Like, all of you are helping me so much. I mean, I know I'm doing stuff for you too, but I hardly ever look at that because this stuff is so fun for me. And it means so much that you guys are helping. Because without you, I would be hurting pretty bad from not having any cons. I'm also kind of sad about all these posts on Instagram because they, honestly, in person, they look a lot better. But on Instagram, they look like trash. Admittedly, they just look awful. And I don't know if it's my camera, I don't know if it's how I'm treating them, but they look so much better in person. And it's like, damn it. That sucks. All of the birds you're hearing, they're in the song. They're not real. I always get somebody who's like, oh man, do you have a window open? I hear the birds. And I'm like, no. They're fake birds. The fakest of bird. I guess the good thing of being laid up for a while is I was working on my Patreon stuff. So my Mythical Monthly Guardians, or Monthly Mythical Guardians, I always screw that up. I made it up and I always say it backwards. Anyway, I worked on both March and April, which hopefully means that I can get ahead of the curve here for once and actually have stuff to send out right away at the beginning of the month, which means May. I should have them ready to go. And then I'm supposed to go overseas in June, like the first week of June. And if that trip gets canceled, I swear to God, I'm going to be beyond any sort of mental help. Like, I'm going to be so upset. Because that's supposed to be my European Brian Froud workshop dream come true, whatever. It's like, man, I need that. Don't take that from me. Anyway, you guys want to tell me some good news happening to you? I'd love to hear good news from you. I don't see how this year could just get any worse than if that happens, but like, oh my God. How bad is this year for some of you guys? Like, I can't even imagine. It's so bad. This is a bad year for everyone I know. It's just ridiculous. I can't even put my mind around it. Like, how can a year be so bad for everyone? No. Hi, Muffins! Sorry. Coughing. Coughing and other things. How you doing, Muffins? Then I'm probably gonna move over to YouTube. Yeah, given the madness. So, like, Illinois, we're in Illinois, and they're like closing everything: schools, libraries, restaurants, everything, like till the end of the month. Which, I mean, I honestly, I'm glad for it because I like curbing the virus. Like, I think it's really good, but there are some people that don't see the like how that's supposed to work. So they're all like, oh, my kids are home, okay, well, I'm gonna take them to, you know, the roller rink. Yeah, roller rink, I don't know, first thing that came to mind. Or like the movies and, you know, junk like that. It's like, bro, don't you understand, you know, the reasoning behind not going out, not taking them anywhere? Do you get why we're doing this? And, you know, some people in these groups I'm in on Facebook just to see what's going on, they're like, you can't tell me what to do. I'm going to do what I want with my kids. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, are you serious? Are you kidding me right now? Like, they think it's, you know, fake. They think people are overreacting. It's like, regardless of what you think, you should kind of respect, you know, what's going on here. You know? And it's just crazy. Like, the American entitlement thing is just, it's in full force for some people. It's crazy. Like, you know, if I want to go out, I'm going to go out. It's like, you don't understand. You could kill Ethel. You go outside, you know, and you give the virus to Ethel. She's dead. You know, I worked in a nursing home, man, for 6 years. I know how sickness affects old people. It's like, it sticks to them. You know, you got to be careful. Elderly can go down with just a little cold, let alone this thing that can basically give you pneumonia. It's like, you know, don't be that guy. Oh, Dr. Strangelove, thank you. 3-week closure, yeah, gotta curb it. Yeah, some people think it's a vacation. Man, it's not a vacation right now. You kidding me? I'm gonna take off this white balance. It's doing some stuff to my drawing here. Thanks for the follows, guys. Sorry if my voice is a bit wavery. I'm getting over like a 2-week sickness. It's no good. No good, homies. Thank you. As I'm going to be switching to YouTube. Get all these things. I'll still come over to Twitch once in a while, but I think majority of my efforts are going to be put into YouTube eventually. So there's that. Do I want Sky? Yeah, I'll do that. Oh. So, how was your stream, Doctor? Hi, Colorful May. Yeah, moving, so am I. I remember that blizzard. Yeah, in Minnesota, it was during Halloween. I remember, yeah, I was like probably 4 feet tall, something like that. And like, I remember the snow being almost as tall as I was, and we were attempting to trick or treat. And it's like, no, man, this is not gonna happen. We gotta go home. Like, my mom turned me around, and she's like, no, we gotta go back. This isn't gonna work. Back when trick or treating was past, 6 and 7 o'clock. Which, I can't believe it's not, like, they don't do that anymore. Anyway, but yeah. Hey, yeah, drawing, painting. Heck yeah. Doctor, if you want to plug in your socials so my people can see them, go for it. That goes for anybody who's an artist in here. If you want to plug your stuff, feel free. As long as it's, like, safe for work and all that crap. Things are going good. I usually do Saturday streaming, but yesterday I wasn't feeling too good. So I'm kind of trying to make it up today. It's going okay. I think my voice crackles in and out. I sound like a smoker. So I try not to... If I'm going to cough, I'll cough off stream and whatever, but I'm about 2 octaves lower, I think, with like what I'm usually talking at, so... Sorry if it's hard to hear me or whatever. I'll try to project more. I've got the mic right up to my face. If it's too much, let me know. But right now I'm working on... It's kind of hard to explain. It's like a story I've been doing on Instagram daily for, honestly, probably a month now. It's been like 22 days. Like, this is tomorrow's post, so I'm just trying to get ahead of the game. But... I was wondering for a while if people even knew this was a story, and I kept putting up pictures of, like, this mouse doing random things. It's like, yeah, it's a story. Gabe was like, I don't know if people think it's a story. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'll put some more verbiage in to make sure they know it's a story. But either way, I like doing these once in a while. I don't plan them, really. I just, like, I take them day by day, and I do what I call organic storytelling. I don't know if that's a thing, whatever. It's just like, if you sat down and you're like, all right, I'm going to tell you a story, and you just start kind of rambling, that's kind of what this is. So if I fail at telling it, if it's kind of everywhere, whatever, I don't even care. I'm just doing it like, kind of live, I guess, every day. So yeah, I didn't think too much about it. It's remained pretty cohesive the whole time. For the most part. It's missing in between shots. I kind of only do the things that are like keyframes, basically. So the major action moments you need to know. Otherwise, yeah. So this mouse runs a lighthouse. I say lighthouse, but honestly it's just a candle on a platform in the middle of the ocean. So lighthouse is a very loose term in this case. But it shows kind of his day-to-day, and then, brings in some kind of conflicts and stuff, just how things would happen if you were a mouse in the ocean with a lighthouse, that sort of thing. Oh no. Don't hear that, Chancho. Don't hear that, dog. Well, thank you. Thank you, noob. Mouse Lad. Hi, Fire Seal. Oh, Rage is a rapper? That's awesome. Well, Rage, feel free to share your stuff, too. But yeah, it's really hard to kind of get that across on Instagram because, it's not like a webcomic platform by any means, and this isn't like exactly a comic. It's just whatever I want it to be, so it's a little weird. Anyway, here are all the things I use every time on it. I typically use alcohol-based markers in my usual stuff. So if you guys want to check out my regular work, the best thing to look at is probably my Instagram, and you'll have to scroll down a bit before the Lightmouse story. But usually I'm using alcohol-based markers like Copics and Prismas, and colored pencils, pastel pencils, and some gel pens and stuff. For this one solely, I just want to use really basic things, honestly. Sometimes when you restrict yourself on things you can use, you actually end up being more creative. So sometimes it's fun to give yourself that kind of challenge. So for these are water-based markers. So because these are water-based, I have this cool thing. It's actually a water-filled marker tip, so when I want to refill it, I just take off this end piece. I'm trying not to get water everywhere. This end piece comes off. It's got a little hole in it, and it's actually like a syringe. So I put it in water, and I suck up the water, put this back on, squeeze this little dealy bobber here, and then water comes out here. So I can actually take it and take the water-based markers, and I'll show you on the side here. So if I do this, I can actually blend it and blur it however I want, kind of make it look more like watercolor. So you can only do that with water-based markers. Because alcohol-based, it's gonna, kind of like the oil and water thing, the alcohol and the water are gonna separate more, and it's gonna get walls and look really weird. You could do the same thing if this was filled with like isopropanol alcohol, and then if these were alcohol markers, but it's like, I'd rather not do that. Water-based, it's still kind of cool. So the difference between water-based and alcohol-based, for those of you who might not know and not familiar with markers, is water-based, you can keep layering. So if I've got like a little thing here, like that square there, if I let it dry, you can also blend them sometimes too or blur them with your finger, and then keep adding onto it, it gets darker. See? I can keep going darker if I want to. It's like a multiply brush in Photoshop, right? Now with alcohol markers, if I took an alcohol marker and I kept going over the same spot, alcohol markers, they stay the same. They stay the same pigment. So it doesn't get darker, it's going to stay the same. It'll look like it gets darker, but then it dries and it's the same shade. So that's, depending on what you're working on, if you want more of a varied effect versus a more consistent effect, you're going to, do some different things there. Thank you, Dr. Strangelove. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's funny because I can do some high quality stuff, but most of the time I just want to screw around. Which I feel like, being an artist, you're going to have, times you want to experiment and whatever. And Instagram should be like your interactive sketchbook. It's your way to have a sketchbook that you're kind of bragging about and whatever. That's to prove you're making things. I view a website, as a portfolio website, sort of as where you actually curate a gallery and have to send to people. I think your Instagram should be more of like a sketchbook. Too many people are too afraid to post things because they think it dirties up their Instagram. I think that's bogus. Dirty it up. It's all like that. That platform in general is meant to have things posted to it and die. Like, you send things onto Instagram to be posted and then die. Like, they have this little tiny lifespan and then they're gone. So when Throwback Thursday or Flashback Friday rolls around, use those tags, repost stuff, because granted, I'm sure a lot of people didn't see that post when you posted it, So don't feel guilty. Something old to you is usually something new to someone else. So that's why you should have a website, for the stuff you want people to always see. For the stuff you want to just prove you're still creating, because that does matter if you're looking for a job or applying to places. Like when I was hiring people at a game company, I wanted to see their Instagram as proof that they were, making things consistently. So I didn't want to hire somebody that was only posting every 2 months or some crap. Like, I don't want to look at their Instagram and see something from like 2 years ago or whatever. It's like, what? No. Show me something you did yesterday, you know. I want to know you're always coming up with ideas and creating. So, anyway. To me, that makes more sense for the platform. Get some clouds in there. You guys probably can't really see this because of my lighting. Now I'm using a pastel because it's a little bit softer than a gel pen or a colored pencil. But yeah, if you guys have any questions on anything, let me know. Feel free. How was everybody's weekend though? Is anybody going back to work tomorrow, like physically going somewhere, or are all of you like stay home from work, work from home people? My style influences? I never chose any deliberately, but I think from what people have told me, what they see in my style is typically 3 things. Don Bluth did a lot of the animated 90s movies. You might remember like Secret of NIMH, The Rescuers, Land Before Time, All Dogs Go to Heaven, American Tail, all those are him. So I think he comes out a lot. And then Brian Froud, Dark Crystal, Labyrinth. He's a character designer. What else? Beatrix Potter. That's another one. I usually have to remind people they don't know her by name, funny enough. Beatrix Potter did Peter Rabbit, and a lot of kind of cute books from our childhoods that have to do with like little animals in little, attire wear that have simple problems day to day, stuff like that. So I'd heavily say them, especially since I'm pretty primarily traditional nowadays. My background is actually pretty digital because I used to be in games. So when I went freelance, I went back to where my heart is, which is very much traditional. So I've got a nice 50-50 going on with both traditional and digital. But right, noob, I'm a shut-in too. I totally get it. Sylvanian families. No, but are those little dolls? I feel like, are those those aren't the calico critters, are they? Yeah, I remember him saying that in Gabe's stream, Kristen. That's nice, right? Hopefully y'all don't go stir crazy. I know some people who aren't used to being home all the time. I used to be one of them when I had my job. Yeah, being home all the time, man. That drove me nuts. Sylvanian families. If you like those too, noob, maybe check out Calico Critters. Those are the ones I know of. And Little Cheesers. I have a whole collection of Little Cheesers. Oh boy. Oh no, the Sylvanian families. That is the Calico Critters. You must be in another country, I'm guessing? Yeah, look up Calico Critters. It's the same thing. That's funny. We're talking about the same thing. My problem is they don't have any of the ones I'd like. I wonder why they changed the name of them in the UK. Or here, whichever. Like, they've got the Hedgehog family, which I'm cool with them. They're kind of in my realm. But, like, they got the dogs. I think they have koalas. I think there's a beaver family. If there is a beaver family, I do need that one. But, like, they're, like, dogs, cats. I'm like, eh. The deer one are cute. I have a few of them. But, actually, the ones I have the most of are called Little Cheesers. And they were made a while ago. I don't remember even when they're from. But 2 years ago, I went through this crazy collecting spree of getting these Little Cheesers dolls. Or, well, they're figurines. I shouldn't say dolls. Yeah, here we go. So I have a ton of these. I haven't gotten to display them in our new house yet, but oh man. Oh man. Oh, that's good, Kristen. That's good. Kristen, your family hasn't gotten sick, right? Yeah, I'm actually supposed to go to the UK in June and go to Devon and I always forget the name of it, but it starts with a T. It's like King Arthur's birthplace. It's crazy cliffs. There's a cool statue. I forgot what it's called. I'm supposed to go there, so I hope everything's done by then, because if I have to cancel that trip, I'm going to be devastated. Like, absolutely devastated. I can hear my bulldog snoring in the other room. Where's all my music? I guess this is still a thing. Yeah, definitely, Kristen. Yeah, stay out of everything for the little one's sake. Except I heard it's not contagious to anyone under 12. It's kind of dark, but Gabe and I were talking about that it's like the culling of the boomers, where the disease is only seeking out those over a certain age, really. Or, you know, obviously those with health problems, but like it just seems so sci-fi that it doesn't affect kids, really. Like, and it's just trying to get rid of the Karens and all that, but yeah, but they can still be a carrier. Totally. It's just so kind of dark, you know. Alright, that one's done. So, like I said, this is going to be a spoiler for those of you who maybe haven't been following it. Or I guess have been, but there is supposed to be one in between these, so I'm going to leave that for later. But, let's do the other one here. Oh, he does. Oh. Put a scarf around your face, Mike. Something. This is supposed to be a nice payoff shot, so hopefully this does that. I can't even really see it. Hold on. I could see it there. Oh no. Oh, noob. Yeah, I worry about the sick more than anybody, honestly. Hope anybody who knows somebody is taking care of them. Yeah, don't leave the house. Don't leave the house. You can help it. Maybe get like Amazon Pantry if you need somebody to deliver something, and then disinfect it before you touch it. All that kind of stuff. It's crazy, or it's like post-apocalyptic stuff almost. Is that a piece of... Oh, are you kidding me? That's part of the paper? It's a part of the paper. Oh god. This thing right here. That's in the paper. Is it really, Kristen? Do they charge a lot to deliver groceries? Or how does that work? How is it cheaper, actually? I'm super curious about that. I've actually never known someone to do that, so I'm really curious to know how that works. Okay, so and actually, if anybody does want to catch up on this real quick, I made it really easy to. Let's see. Oh, Desperado. You cutie. Desperado, are you here? Okay, so for anybody who likes what I'm doing right now and wants to catch up really quick, if you just go on my profile on Instagram and then you click this one right here, this is the entire story so far. So you click it and you've got all the little pages up here, so you can like pretty quickly read through it just by tapping through. It's pretty nice. Then again, I don't get any likes from it, but that's okay. If you feel like going through and liking them, go for it. Or share it. Sharing it would be much better. Desperado, message me on Instagram real quick, would you? I would say Alex, but now we've got 2 Alexes. Seriously though, if anybody has some good news, I'd love to hear it. You know, brag right now. If you've got something fun or something happened to you that's good, please share. I think now is the time to share good feelings and well wishes and things. Yeah, that's what I want to talk to you about, Desperado. Just shoot me an Instagram message. Well, yeah, and Alex's partner is Alex, and you're an Alex. We've got 3 Alexes going on. I had a cat named Alex. Lots of Alexes. Let's put a little lump of... Or, you know, let's see. If you don't have any good news, but maybe you're struggling with something and you want to talk about it, we could talk about that too. Yeah, anything. Anything you guys want to talk about. I'm open to it. Admittedly, I've been feeling a little down lately. I can't tell if it's because of the sickness or what, but I don't know. It's kind of unrelated, I guess, to whatever's happening. But yeah, I've been feeling a little bit down. Let's see. Split these. It's hard being an artist online nowadays. I almost don't recommend it. Really, noob? Is that like is there a name for it? It's hard out there for a pimp. Man, if I even was a pimp, I can't even say I'm a pimp. It's just a thing. And guess what? Bees. Lots of bees. Oh yeah. You know what's funny about the 8-hour thing? I typically average about 7 hours and I feel pretty good, but if I hit 8, I get that like grogginess of like if you oversleep or whatever. I kind of get that. Granted, today I almost slept 9 hours because of the sick thing, and I know that's kind of effed up, but man, I guess I needed it. If my body did it, then I must need it. But anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's different per person. But, you know, some people really do, I think, need the full 8. Oh, I could see that, yeah. 2 hours, wow. You poor thing. Oh, yeah. Well, Kristen, you're on mom sleep, right? That was a nice little song. You know, this doesn't make any sense. Hold on. This is one beefy bird. Let me tell you. If you can grab all this. Damn. Oh, that's a good question, Alex. Definitely a good question. Night, Fire Seal. Everybody should go check out Fire Seal's work. Instagram.com. That's the Fire Seal. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. It's one of those people I look forward to whenever they post. Desperado! Where's that message? Let's go. Just got it. Hold on, everybody. Here we go. All right. Unison, hi. I know. And I mean, to be fair, I've skipped like the past, how many weeks? 2 or 3, because the first week I was prepping for C2E2, then the next week I was at C2E2, and then this past one, oh god, I skipped 3. Then I got sick, and then I almost skipped this weekend too, but I skipped yesterday because I felt like crap because I'm still getting over it, but today I felt at least good enough to make up for yesterday. So so yeah, it's been a thing. Oh, Alex, it makes me so mad that that little salamander thing is named Bruni. I found that out and I was like, oh my god, are you kidding me? That's my dog's name. It bothers me. It's like, it doesn't even reflect anything like that name means. It's just like, ugh. It took me like a couple weeks to find that name. And then Frozen just takes it. I'm like, damn it, I wanted something unique. Oh my god, Alex, what? Your dog works at State Farm? What does that mean? The hell are you talking about? Are you high? Bro. Oh, is The Last Kingdom good? I thought about watching that. Because I watched like all of Vikings. And I saw that and I was like, you know what, maybe I'd like this. Can't tell if the song has screaming people or crying children. Can't tell. Yeah, but you named your dog Jake. That's at least like, you know, Jake's a pretty common name. You knew that. But like Bruni, I was trying to be, you know, all unique and shit. And then, you know, here comes Disney. You know. You enjoyed it? Cool. Have you ever watched Vikings? How does it compare to that if you have? If you haven't, that's fine too. But I'm a little curious. There's also a medieval show on that had like Tom Hiddleston in it and I think Cumberbatch. I can't remember now. There's a few I wanted to watch. Oh, season 1 is good. Vikings is good up until season 4. Now there's 6 seasons, but season 4, like after season 4, you could stop watching if you wanted to. But it's still interesting. You know, it's still good. Like Travis Fimmel, he's a great Ragnar. Holy crap! I watched the show because of that guy. Like, it's good. I liked it a lot. I just can't figure out how to watch it now because it's like it's not directly on any channel I have, so I don't even know how to watch the rest. It's like I'm at the second part of the last season and I can't even watch the rest because I don't even know how. I think it's on history. I don't have that. I don't think it's free. I don't even know. Good Omens was good, yeah. It was a quick one though. It was a pretty quick watch. I think we finished that off in like a day or two. Yeah, part of Vikings is on Prime. The new seasons aren't. It only goes up to, I think, 5, and they're on 6 right now. Like, I had to watch the first part of 6 on like a trial of the History Channel or some crap, and now that they're on the second part of 6, I can't watch like the rest of it. I don't know what to do. Gabe and I have actually gone back and started watching anime again. It's funny. Like, there is some really bad anime, but there's some really good anime too. Like, I went back and watched all of early Cardcaptor Sakura, and if you're looking for some wholesome shit, there you go. There you go. You can watch the whole thing, all 70 episodes on Crunchyroll for free. Like, you just have to kind of make an account just so it keeps where you are. But otherwise, yeah, like, you can watch so much stuff on like Crunchyroll for free. I didn't even know that. Like, all the old animes on there. Man, Carnival Row, we watched like 3 episodes and it was so fucking slow. Alex, does it pick up? Because, man, I was like, same with The Witcher. We just stopped watching Witcher and I think we're like 1 episode from the end. It's just so slow. I don't know what to do about that. And it's just, it's kind of, I don't know. It's just slow. But yeah, does Carnival Row pick up? Because, man, it was slow. Oh, good, noob. I'm glad. Even if you weren't, I'd still respect you, obviously, but, you know. Yeah, so, no, I've seen everything related to Ava. I watched it when it came out back in the day. I've watched the remade movies. I've watched the remixed series. The fact that they had to redo their series a few times tells you. It's the ending in all of them is crap. They don't know what they're doing. They're trying to make it so deep and make sense, and it doesn't. It's a mess. The best thing about the Evas is the Evas and the Eva battles. So if you want really cool, different mech battles than normal, than big chunky mechs, definitely Eva's like the standard. But in terms of like story and all that, it's kind of all over the damn place. But yeah, the ending of it is just they had to make movies to explain the ending of the series, and they couldn't even make the movies make sense of it, so they had to redo it like 3 times. So yeah, it's all over the place. So I was always a Trigun person, not Cowboy Bebop. I didn't like Cowboy Bebop. It was too serious and too like jazz. I didn't like jazz. I would take a Western over jazz any day, so I was way more Trigun. I like the characters in Trigun better. Yeah, I don't know. I was just, like, when I was going to school, you were either Trigun or Bebop. So, like, sometimes groups would split into the two. But yeah, I was always Trigun. Dude, Bebop is overrated. Sorry. Like, I feel like everybody who likes Bebop just kind of like, that's probably the first one they saw, so they got nostalgic. But, like, as far as story goes, dude, Trigun. No one talk about the endings of either, okay? Just in case. I don't want to spoil. But, like, I think Trigun's ending blew my mind. Loved it. Well, if you've got Hulu, you can watch them. Hold on. There's no ending to Bebop. It's true. It's true. You might be able to find Bebop elsewhere. Like I said, Crunchyroll has a surprising amount of things that are on there for free, and I don't know. The newest anime I probably watched that I found pretty intriguing was Attack on Titan. That one's disturbing on a couple levels. I liked it. But like, I'm now just watching some old ones I hadn't seen that I'm starting to watch are, you guys are gonna kill me for this, but Avatar Last Airbender series. Hadn't seen that. So I gotta watch that. And mainly that, actually. Like, Gabe was a big DBZ guy. He used to watch Ronin Warriors too when I was younger, and they were on TV. I used to watch Ronin Warriors and then Sailor Moon and DBZ. They were all like on one after the other. So I'd come home from school and watch those. See, and that's another thing. People either split off into Digimon, Pokemon, or Yu-Gi-Oh! I was Pokemon. I hated the crap out of Digimon. I hated that they talked. I wanted them so badly to be like Pokemon, but I couldn't get into it, and the art style bothered me. But I found out people usually are like one of those sects, I guess. Like S-E-C-T-S. But like, I remember going Saturdays when I was like 13 or 14. We'd go to Toys R Us, and they would have Pokemon battles, like league battles. So you collected badges, you'd play other kids, whoever won, you get your badges. It was really cool. It was like a scavenger hunt sort of thing, like that mentality, but you had this like little badge book, and eventually they leveled it up where you could get like metal badges and things. It was so cool. It was really fun. It was a nice thing that like Toys R Us was doing to kind of bring the community together. So I totally dug that. Yeah, I did see that. I didn't want to watch it, even though it looked really cute. I was like, why did they take the time to do this in 3D again? Like, I gotta admit though, Gabe and I watched Detective Pikachu. That movie's great. That is a good movie. It's fun. It was really good. I was surprised. Though they didn't do as many Pokemon as I was hoping they would. But man, that beat my expectations. That was great. Ryan Reynolds was great. It was very cute. The UK was stupid. Oh no. I did have a pretty good childhood outside my home, but I had good friends from school. I think that kept things cool. Yeah, it was surprising. I haven't seen Sonic either. You guys see Sonic? I wanted to. I have felt nothing but sadness for the Sonic franchise for a long time. I grew up actually as Sega and not Nintendo. My first system was a Genesis. And my friend across the street, she had a Nintendo, so we'd go to her house to play, Mega Man and Mario and stuff, and we'd go to mine to play, Sonic and all of the Sega games, which weren't as fun or varied, to be honest, but at least we got the variety. So my first system was a Sega, and then I got a N64, and then I got a GameCube, PS2, whole bunch of stuff after that. After that, I got the bug, and I ended up having all the systems except like the old ones, like Famicom and stuff at one time. I had them for a few years, and then I was like, why am I hoarding all these systems? I only play a couple of them. So then I ended up selling a bunch of them. But, oh man, there was a time. Was Sonic not good? Come on, somebody here has to have seen Sonic. I did feel like getting Jim Carrey as Robotnik was kind of phoning it in, but I was like, alright, whatever. At least they called him Robotnik and not Eggman. Like, the whole going back to the Eggman thing, I didn't like that. I was like, I grew up with him as Robotnik, so I knew him as that, and you always call him Robotnik, anyway. There's that. Really? Like on a 1 to 10, Desperado, what would you have given it? Everybody did say it surprised them. And I love that Ben Schwartz is like Sonic's voice. He was John Ralphio on Parks and Rec. And I was like, oh my god, once I learned that he was Sonic's voice, I was like, that's perfect. He fits that perfectly. Like, oh my god. John Ralphio forever. You didn't understand the Sonic movie? Did you watch it, or do you just not, like, understand why it exists? Is that what you mean? Well, come over, Alex. I've got an N64. I do still have a lot of the stuff. I don't have my Dreamcast anymore. But I do have my Genesis, my NES, my SNES. Yeah, I don't have the Dreamcast anymore. That one sucks. I kind of wish I still had my Dreamcast. Really? 7? Oh, good. Is it hooked up? Man, it can be. It's simple. We have a bunch of old TVs for this purpose of just having older systems hooked up. Because even if your TV has a hookup for old systems, it never looks as good. And I say good in parentheses. Good. Sorry, quotations. Because, I don't know, It's not the same. So yeah, we always have a couple old TVs that have some stuff you can hook them up to. But it sucks because a lot of the things, like, I don't know how many times I've bought Mega Man because they keep coming out remastered and all this junk. I'm like, I am not buying Mega Man for a 7th time. All right? I love it like crazy, but I'm done, man. Like, you can't do this to me. I think it's just companies capitalizing on nostalgia right now, in all honesty. I think that's all they're doing, really. I feel like with how hard nerds covet their childhoods right now and think that, you know, back then was the golden time and everything then was great, companies are really trying to channel that again. And then, you know, parents who have that hard nostalgia have kids now, so they really want their kids to feel it. Even though you can't force a kid to feel what you felt, they still think they can. So they try. And that's the whole thing with all the Star Wars stuff still being relevant and everything. Everybody wants, you know, their kids and stuff to feel what they felt. So it's a big thing with nostalgia. And that's another reason I can't handle fan art, is it's basically charging you for your nostalgia again. You're exploiting people's memories and don't do it. Yeah, so Ocarina of Time, I was obsessed with Zelda for many years. Ocarina of Time was actually my first Zelda game. I know that's kind of messed up, but believe me, I went back and I played every Zelda from before and after. I've played every Zelda game. Except the Famicom ones, or the CDI Philips ones. Couldn't get my hands on those. Even though they were not Nintendo sanctioned and they were horrid, I still wanted to play them because they looked funny. But I have played all the Zeldas. The worst Zelda is by far Spirit Tracks, in my opinion. That shouldn't have been made. That should not have been made. That game was not Zelda. And I've got the worst opinion that probably no one else on earth has, and I'm gonna get flamed for this, but Breath of the Wild is not a good Zelda game. It's a good game, but it's not a good Zelda game. In my opinion, we're each entitled to our opinion. Honestly, Hyrule Warriors is a better Zelda game than Breath of the Wild. Like, Zelda's voice in Breath of the Wild is horrid. Way better in Hyrule Warriors, funny enough, even though it was the Dynasty Warriors company that made that. And it's just, there's nothing really Zelda about Breath of the Wild, man. Gotta tell you. Yeah, that's true, noob. If they do stop the tech support thing, fine. But if I still have the original... Oh my god! So what they did, Gabe and I were playing Virtual Console the other night on the Switch. They added a rewind button. Rewind! So like in all the hard games that we grew up with that you had to restart a million times, they added a rewind. So that if you die, you can just rewind it to where you died and just keep on going. I was like, what? What? So there's like no lasting consequences for anything anymore. And I don't mean to be the back in my day, blah, 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 but more so the fact that it's a consequences thing. You know? Like you're teaching kids there aren't any consequences. That I'm more concerned about that. Like than actually like it being a pure port, you know, than, you know, whatever. But, oh man. Yeah, I haven't played games admittedly for a while. I used to be really, really damn hardcore. Like Gamer Score 360, Halo, LAN parties, all that shit. I even modded my PS2 when I had it so it could play Japanese games and it had a flip top. Anyway, it was a thing, but I haven't done that in a long time. I don't have the time anymore. And honestly, games don't strike me like they used to, which I feel really bad about. Like, I used to really like games. I went into the game industry because I like games so much. And things have just changed, man. Like, we got VR and everything, and it's cool, but it's like, it's not the same. I don't know. Yeah, I'm an 80s, 90s kid. I was born in 86. So I'm 34. My kids are dogs. I don't plan on having kids. All my friends have kids. I'm like, nah, that's not my thing. I don't want kids. I'm too damn selfish for kids. I have too many things I want to do for me. My partner's the same way. We don't want kids. You don't need kids. Don't need them. Oh, it'd totally be fun, Alex. If nothing else, every time I've tried to have one of those where it's like, yeah, retro nostalgia game night, all you do is sit with a pile of games, put one in, find out how much it actually sucks, take it out like 2 minutes later, put in another one, and you do that for like 2 hours until all the games are done. And you're like, let's go play something modern. That's all it is. You know? Oh my god. Yeah, microtransactions. Worst thing in the world. Worst damn thing. I was in mobile games, so I was one of the people that was trying to take your money for stupid reasons, you know. Let's see. What do I want to do? Oh, I realized I didn't have an extra for this month's monthly Mythical Guardians. So I'm not really sure. Alex, as a curious collector, would you say, since I'm going the extra mile to do like 3 critters in 1 month, that I need to supply stickers or a print, or do you think me just doing that and splitting it up into 2 parts is enough? Cheese board. Oh my god. Charcuterie, baby. Gabe finally learned what a charcuterie was, and he lost his shit, and it was the funniest thing ever. It took him 5 minutes to learn how to say it. Either way, it was hilarious. Yeah, AAA game companies ruined everything. Yeah, that's a good point, Alex. But it's like, I can't really do stickers of these guys because, like, taken out of context, they're not even that cool, or you don't even know what they're about, so it's really hard to make anything about them. If I did, it'd probably just be a little flame, a little droplet, like a little tuft of grass or something, and then like a little cloud. Something really generic that people could use, but I don't even know if anybody'd want that. I don't know. I'll have to think more about it. I can show this. I haven't done anything with this. Oh, you too, noob. Thanks for coming in. I hope to see you around more. This actually has some silver paint on it. She wanted a galaxy type unicorn. This was from C2E2. It was a cheaper one, so I didn't put too much time into it, but yeah, I had fun. I don't usually do unicorns and like cookie cutter fantasy stuff, so that one was fun. Had a good time with that. Alright, well, I finished at least tomorrow's thing. I guess I could do one more. This one is going to be in this frame too. All I'm changing is his head to be looking that way. And like literally all I have to do is draw a head, and I'll just change it in Photoshop and it'll be easy. Thanks, guys. I'm glad you like the unicorn. I guess what would the next piece be? Them hugging. This is my janky template. It's not even a real square. It's like a rectangle. Super fake, super bad, whatever. Everything is rough. The best thing you can tell yourself instead of it needs to be perfect is everything is rough. Everything's a sketch. I don't even care if you think it's like 30 hours in and you think it's done. Everything is a work in progress. Once you break yourself of the perfectionist thinking anything goes and you are free and no one can hurt you. So do all the things. But yeah, I'm going to plug this again for people who are here now that weren't here earlier. Go find somebody to support on this site. Go see if there's someone whose stuff you like. Give them some money, because this weekend was supposed to be Emerald City, and a lot of artists are losing income. Granted, they should have backup income, but a lot of them unfortunately don't. So they need extra, so maybe help them out. Oh, that's hilarious, Unison. I love it. I think that's the biggest problem I've heard people say, though, is that, they're a perfectionist and they never actually start anything because they're petrified. They're absolutely mortified of it being, not good, or, their sketchbook being crap. It's like, first of all, it's a sketchbook. Second of all, ruin the first page. Third of all, it's supposed to be full of ideas. So whenever I get a new sketchbook or whatever, I usually tell people, grab it, open it, and just destroy the first page. If you have perfectionism problems, just destroy the first page. Ultimately, just crap. Look at this. These are spoilers for my Patreon, but look at that. What is that? That's crap. That's crap. This is crap. Who cares? It's a sketchbook. Let it be. Things need to grow up and evolve, and you need to see what you already tried so that you can do that and all these things. This is a brand new sketchbook, so there's nothing in here. But, you're supposed to mess up. If you don't mess up and you're not getting your hands dirty, you're not learning. You gotta learn. So screw up your first page of your sketchbook, because that's going to be the bar for the rest of your sketchbook, and anything you do in that sketchbook from that point forward is going to be better than that first page. So we used to tell people that, and people started coming back and being like, oh, that was great advice, blah, blah, blah. So we're still spreading it. Do it. Mess it up, because it's a psychological thing. For some reason, especially, and if I can tell you to do this on purpose, don't buy bound sketchbooks. Okay, like the ones that are like hardbound, like hardcover and like perfect bound on the side. That's just gonna freak you out more. Get the ones that are either perforated or have the wire sides. Like, after I'm done with a sketchbook, there's about this many pages left in it, like at the end, because I tear all of them out and I file them in some manner. I sell them. Like, I rarely keep any of my sketchbook pages, but that's because I'm a freelance person, independent artist, whatever you want to call me, and I feel like you're supposed to get rid of your art, right? Like, all it's doing for me is sitting in a book, whereas if I sell it, other people can get joy from it and treat it better. It's like hoarding a bunch of cats, I guess, and let's say you're not taking care of all the cats very well because you have so many cats, but if each cat had their own home, they'd be treated better, most likely. Like, I'm talking if you got like 20 plus cats, whatever. Anyway, think of it like that. Like, your cat would be framed up on a wall, whatever. That sort of thing. Oh, this would be cute. As if he's helping her off the bird. His arm has to go down, her arm will go up. That's a cute little love story. I wanted to have a nerdy mouse too as the protagonist. I want him to be a nerdy mouse with this little hobby of sculpting, and I wanted him to be very responsible and wholesome and just a good guy. I think he is. And then this lady mouse. So, spoiler alert. Mute me if you don't want to hear this ending. I'm just gonna say it, because whatever. She's been making the wax for all his candles the entire story. So they finally figured out a way for her to come live with him on his little candle island. But she's got this whole array of bees, and she brought all this stuff to make like a bee colony out here, and all the flowers and things. So it's really far-fetched and kind of crazy and probably wouldn't work, but, fantasy, whatever. Ooh, Unison, yeah. So when you do that with the excuse thing, just tell yourself no excuses. If you start saying, yeah, but I gotta do this, I got the chores, I gotta do that, sit down. Like, before you can even think of making an excuse, sit down and have like pencil and paper at a certain spot in your house. Sit down and just start drawing without thinking. Like, actually start just like, just doing this. I don't even care. Just sit down and start doing this. Don't think about doing this. Don't do whatever. Just muscle memory. Just sit down and start doing it. Because then once you do that, you're like, oh man, well, I could do something better. I'm already here. Why not start, And then you'll just start actually making things, right? So the whole thing, the hardest thing that no one can do is start. And every time we've gotten somebody that's like, oh man, I can never do the thing, I've always got excuses. Just sit down and start. It doesn't matter if it's good, bad, whatever. It doesn't matter. Just do it. Because anything is a step to improving, right? It's a step you didn't take before. And because of that, you're actually doing something. You're actually being proactive and all that shit, right? So you just gotta start. It's the hardest thing. Oh my God, my dog is overheating. Hold on. Butters, come on. There you go. Okay? Yeah, you're too warm. You're too warm. You don't know what to do. You want to come over here? Come here. Come here. Yeah, you're panting. You're just too warm. Come on. Oh. That's a good girl. Like, whatever you can do to trick yourself into starting, do it. Hold on. All right. One of my problems now that I'm like, I guess, I don't want to say professional. Every time I say I'm a professional, I feel like a douchebag. But one of the problems you face, because you'll always face problems, no matter where you are in your art cycle. First it's the perfectionist thing. Then once you get past that, it's going to be the comparing yourself thing and all this stuff. Like, it doesn't end. There's always going to be something. For me, it's kind of the comparison thing, but more so that the realization that what you like to do, no one else really likes, at least on a grander scale. So the fact I'm drawing cutesy mouse stories, and I really enjoy doing that. Not everybody likes that, and it's usually not a very popular thing. It's not like I'm drawing sexy girls or something, something that's a lot more popular just by what it is. I'm not doing weird art either, so it's not like I'm calling attention to myself. So it's more like I'm kind of easily forgettable. And then, dealing with that idea, and kind of figuring out how to not only just deal with that, but just, keep making art even if you're the only one that likes it. Like, that's the whole idea of art, really, right? Like, you're making art for you, first and foremost. Typically, other people will find you if they like it. But sometimes it's just hard to find that, or have that. Got the thought that my skill level's so low, I gotta do studies and learn. No. Unison, no. No. Fuck studies. I'm gonna say that first. So if you feel like that's where your skill level is, more importantly than anything, you gotta find what you have fun with art first. Studies can come later. But you want to get back your passion for it. You want to get back into doing it just to do it, right? So more importantly than anatomy and all that BS, whatever, you got to have fun with it and figure out what you want to do. Hey, Uber. You guys got to go check out Uber. Uber is one of our original people. He's been with us from the beginning. His art's phenomenal. Just saying. Dude never updates, but he's great. You know what? I'm gonna pimp you out, Uber. Because I'm that guy. We miss you, man. How you doing? Yeah, I always do this to Uber. He deserves it. Jerk. But yeah, unison. More importantly, it's just, you gotta like go into it wanting to draw something specific, but making sure it's something you want to draw. You know, that's fun for you. You need to have fun with it again, because doing too many studies and all those things, that'll just drain you kind of all your love, you know. You gotta remember why you fell in love with it. It's kind of like keeping a relationship alive, you know. Very similar concept. I think she'd be coming off the bird. Like this, I guess. Never had a relationship? Okay. Well, that's fine too. You know? Wherever you're at. Just know there, you know, it's always going to be work, no matter what point you're at. It's always going to be work. And you know, sometimes they say relationships go through seasons, right? Like there's a winter, there's a spring, there's a summer, which means that, you know, there are going to be times where you think you're maybe not as in love with this person. You know, this, that, or the other thing. I feel like creation is in line with that. So you're going to have a winter with your art. You're going to have a spring and a summer, which all those align with different feelings you get towards, you know, your significant other. So I feel like you'd go with, you know, through that with your art. So you got to, like, you know, you have to stick it out, and, you know, depending on what point you're at, you have to use that. So if you're in the winter, which I think was when you're kind of falling out of love, or you think you are, you got to remember why you fell in love in the first place. So what is it about art that you liked? What was, you know, the thing you loved to draw? What brought you so much joy to depict, you know? And screw realism, you know, forget about all the stuff that puts pressure on you. Get back to being a kid again, and what was, you know, the fun thing about art and drawing and all that stuff. You gotta bring it back to home, you know, what made it what it is to you. It's affecting us a little bit. Honestly, Uber, we got really lucky because this year was supposed to be kind of our taking a break year. So honestly, I only had 2 cons set up this year. And I had one already, and it was great because it was right before the shutdown of everything happened. I did get massively sick, but that's beside the point. So I had that, and then that was C2E2. And my next one is in August. So, you know, we've been doing 1 to 2 cons a month for the past couple of years. And this year we were like, you know what, let's go easy because we want to make more content to be able to sell it, right? Mice have tails. I just realized I didn't give him a tail. There we go. Anyway, so yeah, it affected Gabe though. Gabe was supposed to be at Emerald this weekend. So he's missing out on a good amount of sales. So if anybody wants to help out Gabe, Gabe's stuff is there. Yeah, I don't know if you want to help me out too. My stuff's here. I added bookmarks, by the way, but yeah, and that's what happens, Unison. So I feel like a lot of people that kind of start worrying too much about what it becomes. And, maybe you're watching too many videos of people who are really good, or they're doing sketchbook tours, things like that. And you just get down about where you're at. And then every time you sit down to do art, you're scared, because you're like, man, if I don't start making some serious progress, I'm going to fall behind and all that crap. That's all lies, first of all. The only person you're in competition with is you, right? And where you were yesterday and all that stuff. So you always have to kind of bring yourself back to that. I have to do that daily. I have to keep remembering that. I'm a heavy competitive person. And I really have to bring myself back to that, because I keep trying to compare myself to the people I know who are kind of in the same situation as me. But really, I'm in a completely different scenario than they are. Not only just with my style and my fan base and all that stuff, but more so just I don't have the same goals they do. So why would I even try to compare, right? But you can't help it sometimes. I think it's just like, survival mode, you kind of just do it. So what I've had to do then is kind of reel myself back and be like, okay, no one I'm actually friends with is trying to do what I'm trying to do. Gabe is probably the closest person that knows what I'm trying to do and knows where I should go with it, but all the other people I'm friends with, they're not doing what I'm doing, and I need to remember that. But it is really hard. They're all print artists, and I'm a storyteller, and I'm trying to do stories. They're trying to do illustrations and just illustrations. I'm trying to do both. So I need to remember that, or else I go crazy, So there's that. But Unison, you need to remember, to bring it back down to being about you. I think too many people nowadays, it's like they're not selfish enough. I know that sounds crazy, but you need to do it for you, not for the internet, not for anything else. You gotta do it for you. And then once that happens, then you'll be able to start focusing more on what you want out of it, and your style and stuff. And I was telling somebody the other day, if you're kind of just starting off drawing and everything, and you don't quite know what you're into and all that stuff, you don't know what your style is. Style only really erupts after you've done something many, many times. You'll learn what you do like, what you don't like, with what you're drawing, and that comes with anatomy, everything. You'll find out what you don't like to draw. I don't like drawing the line in somebody's chest, like a guy's chest, so I'm gonna omit that. I'm not gonna draw that anymore. That is part of your style now. The things you do and don't want to draw are part of your style. That's what a style is, choosing what you do and don't like to depict. As an artist, that's your choice. That's part of who you are. Those are your choices. So, but to do that, you need to draw a lot. You need to draw a lot of things to figure out what you do and don't like. So when you're starting off, I tell people, you just got to try everything. Try things, get creative. Don't worry about failure. Failure doesn't even exist technically. It's just, you're never failing to learn. Let's put it that way. And really, it's just quantity over quality. Too many people are obsessed too quickly with quality. Quality comes later. Quality is refinement, right? Quality is what happens when you've seen enough not quality, right? Because you'll know then what you want it to be. So in the beginning, it's all about quantity. Draw, 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 draw. Figure out what you like to draw. Figure out what you want to represent you as an artist. When somebody sees, seashells with, gemstones on them, blah, 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 that's this person. Those sorts of things become you. That's your style too, your content. But to figure all those things out, you need to do it. You need to figure out, oh my God, I love drawing seashells. Or, I like drawing mice in love. Whatever. Those sorts of things. You need to find that out. It's not like I always knew this, you know. Even when I was at my game job, I was like, I don't have a style. That was my biggest problem. I didn't have an identity. When people say style, they should really say identity. Like, you don't have an art identity. And the only way to get one is to find out who you want to be, you know. I'm a wise elf. Thank you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Does all this make sense? It all just comes with time and actually doing it. Because people are like, well, how do I get better at this? Well, you have to draw that. Oh. Like, a lot of people don't want to hear that they have to do work. And that's usually what kills dreams, is they just don't want to do the work. When really the work is the secret ingredient. Like, most of the time, anybody who's making, you know, good money with their art or putting their art out there, it's because they're doing the work. I don't think you can be a freelancer or independent artist and be lazy, really. Unless you have a really good style that everybody's into, or really good content, or just content like, I don't know, porn, whatever. It's not exactly difficult, Unison. It's just dedication. It's telling yourself every day you're okay failing. But you have to, the biggest thing though is redefining what failure is. I think that's what a lot of people actually fail at, is their definition of failure. I know that sounds way wacky, but like, I don't think I fail anymore. If a sketch turns out bad, sketch is just bad. Doesn't mean it's failing. Bye, Alex. It's just that sketch is bad. It's okay. That sketch isn't you. It doesn't reflect your skill. It might be because you're not fully into what you're drawing. It might be your mood that day. It might be because you had a bad lunch. Who knows? It doesn't directly affect you. You know, it's just not who you are. But just in terms of getting better at anything, another good way to ground yourself with how you're thinking of things is to, instead of saying art, say a different job. You know, well, how would I get better at being an electrician? You know, well, you gotta do your research, figure out, you know, how that stuff is. But most importantly, you have to do hands-on stuff, right? You have to learn what to do, apply it, either succeed or, I guess in that case, fail at it, get electrocuted, whatever, and then go back to trying again and again and again. You know, you're not going to be a master electrician after your second or third try, right? You got to fail or at least study a lot, right? And failure isn't a bad thing. It's damn America being that weird thing that makes failure sound like it's terrible. Failure isn't terrible. It's just learning to kind of redefine the word as being just, that didn't work. Try again. You know, that one attempt didn't work. Try something else. It's not like you're quitting after that didn't work. No, that's BS. That's crap. You know? I hope that makes sense. Just, there is no failing. After you realize there is no failing, like, tell yourself that, you know, I can't fail. I'm just, because anything you're doing, if you're learning, you're not failing. Remember that too. I learned that recently. Like, that's a good way of put what I've been trying to tell people. If you're learning, you're not failing. Even if that means whatever you tried didn't come out the way you were hoping it would, you still didn't fail at it. You still did it. You still, you know, got something out of it. You learned what not to do. Learning what not to do is just as important as learning what to do. It's the same thing, if you think about it. You know? So as long as you remember that, I think you'll be fine. And any little step is still a step. So if you're like, oh, one doodle tonight, what's that gonna do? That's a lot. That's more than you did, you know, maybe the night before. Maybe you didn't draw at all. Maybe you haven't drawn for a week and you do one doodle. That's way more than you would have done had you not done a doodle. You know? Does that make sense? Oh, he looks so much fatter in this one. Oh well. Does that make sense? Hopefully that helps. It's a lot of talking logic to yourself when you know, as artists, I feel like we become a little bit irrational just because our emotions get tied into it. All you got to do is bring yourself back to being logical, you know. And I think for some of us that are a little bit more analytical than dreamy, like I'm more of an analytical person, I need reasons to do things and all that kind of crap. I have to remind myself, like the thing about the job, the electrician thing, like, you know, if I were a different thing, not an artist, how would this be handled? You know, and that really grounds me pretty quickly. I think that can help a lot of people to put it in that perspective. Oh, thank you, Unison. Yeah, getting it in your brain, I swear to God, it's going to take practice. That's the other crappy thing. Like, you actually have to practice, like, positive, you know, reinforcement thinking. It's like what Gabe and I say about your visual library and drawing from your mind and all those things. You have to actually work on it. It's a muscle, right? It's a memory thing. So you have to keep working on it for it to actually start taking effect and making a difference in your life. I didn't draw his other leg. And then you run into crap like that, and it's like, whatever, that's okay, here it is. And that's another reason why I do these daily stories, because it's like, it really loosens me up. I've got 7,000 followers. It's not that much, but it's also a lot in some cases, you know, depending on who you are and how you look at it, right? Like, to me, it's I'm trying to look at it like whatever. And to keep myself always thinking like whatever, I do things like this, where it's a stupid little project, it's rough, it's raw, it's kind of ugly, I'm sure, to some people, but I think it's important. I look at this like an important piece of art expression because it's what I want to do. Yeah, it could negatively impact, like, what people think of my profile and all that stuff, but I think it's more important that people learn that you can just do raw art. Not everything has to be a finished painting on Instagram. Not everything has to be, you know, so gorgeous. And I think that's really important, especially nowadays with, you know, artists coming up, that these kids are absolutely terrified of doing anything that isn't a masterpiece. And that is so much stress, and it's so much stress that a lot of people quit art because of it. I've known people to quit art because of it, and it's like, that's not okay. You know, you shouldn't be scared out of a hobby, you know, and especially those of us who, you know, see it as, oh, well, I mean, it was a hobby, but now I can turn it into something else. You have to remember, you know, it's something you loved first, and then something you made more out of later. But, you know, remembering why you love it is extremely important all the way along, you know. What? Right, Uber? You feel me. Uber, you're in Malaysia, right? Something like that, wasn't it? Oh my god, my marker's dying. How are things there? Do you guys have a lot of shutdown stuff? Because the U.S. is starting to, like, by state shut things down. Oh, also, I was telling people earlier, I probably will be switching to YouTube at some point. More than less. Just because, honestly, there's been that just giant exodus with Twitch, and the traffic here and bits and donations and subs have gone down in the past 2 years like crazy. When we started, this was so much better, and since, like, Twitch has just lost a lot of what it was. It's a lot harder to make any money on it now. Oh, they said, okay. That's good, because yeah, here we can't do like over 200 people. I know in New York it was like over 500 you can't do. You're welcome, Unison. You know, and if you have any problems in the future with this sort of thing, just message me on Instagram. I'll give you a quick pep talk. Like, the main thing I think is when you're feeling kind of petrified to sit down and do something, that's the most important time to sit down and do something. Or when you're making excuses, just sit down and start doing anything, right? Because anything, the one thing that I tell myself if I'm, really messed up in the head with whatever, something is better than nothing. So sit down, doodle something, even if it's 2 minutes. 2 minutes. You can spare 2 minutes and, sketch something out. That's better than not doing anything, right? That's still XP. You just killed a slime. Good job. XP. Even if it's tiny, it's still a, movement in the right direction. And then eventually you can kind of make a habit of it and, go from there. But to do any sort of, thing like that, like planning of a hobby or anything, you have to start. And starting is the hardest part. So do whatever you can to sit down and actually draw something. Oh wow, Uber, really? Yeah, I was worried about churches and all that kind of crap early on. I was like, if anything, those are going to probably spread it pretty quickly, more than anything. So, yeah, I think it says over 200 here. And then in the bigger cities, it's like 500 and up that they've stopped doing that stuff. So that's good at least. They're also closing, we've got restaurant closures. Like restaurants are supposed to suspend things to the end of the month. Schools are closed. Libraries are closed. Everything's basically closed. Cons are canceled or postponed. Emerald City got rescheduled to August. And usually, like I said, it's in March. So it's still going on, it's just going to be in August. Which was a close call because so is Dragon Con. And I think Emerald knows they can't compete with Dragon Con, so they're not, they avoided that time frame. But yeah, Unison, also remember it's not that big of a deal. I think a lot of people also just think, oh no, if I don't do this thing, like, oh my god, this thing, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, it's not a big deal. I'll just pump out a little thing. It's just a little thing. Try to use it's not a big deal to actually do it, though, and not to not do it. If that makes sense. Try not to worry about your skill level. Worry more about your fun level. Why you still draw. Make sure you're having fun first and foremost. If you're not having fun, change what you're drawing. Make sure you're having fun. Especially while it's a hobby. Like, when you become a freelancer and you gotta take on work and all that stuff, that's different. That's when you've learned how to actually kind of harness your creativity and stuff, and when to pull it out like a tool, or like a mindset. That's for later. That's not for right now. The first thing is to actually make sure you're having fun and to find the things that you have the most fun doing. Hopefully that will make sense. I'll probably be going pretty soon, so if anybody has anything they want to quick talk about or any other questions. But yeah, I'm going to start setting up some YouTube stuff. I'll probably come back to Twitch once in a while, but it won't be as religious, I think, as YouTube. Cool. I'm glad. I really hope it helps you. Because eventually, I remember being at the point you're at, and I remember moving past that and leveling up to the point where now it's just, I call on it whenever I need it, you know? I'm sorry, I'm still sick. And it's different now because now I kind of draw fearlessly. Like all these things I've been drawing for you guys tonight, I'm just drawing them because I like to draw them. I, know what I like to draw, and I just kind of go for it. And I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid of messing up. Even on stream, I don't fear these things anymore. And I feel like that's something that was learned, but the only way to learn it is to do it, and to do it a bunch, that sort of thing. Sorry, my nose is still hella plugged. But yeah, don't be afraid of it. Act like a child. Go back to being why art is great. Or art is what you want to do. Why do you want to do art? Sometimes ask yourself simple questions, and they can help you answer bigger questions. Yeah, it's a bad year. It's true. But maybe this will be the best thing to come out of it. Maybe think about it that way. What if you actually figure out all that stuff I asked you earlier? Like, you figure out what you want your art to be and look like and what you want to draw forever. Like, what if you figure all that out? And if that's the only good thing to come out of your year, I'd say that's pretty good. It's a lot, but don't get overwhelmed by it. It's not a big deal. And if it takes you a while to get to it, it takes you a while. It's okay. You're not on anyone's timeline but your own. Remember that too. If you gotta rewatch the stream to remember these things, do it. Oh, it already has come and hit me back. This is round 2, technically. And I was doing pretty good for a bit. But yeah, I got re-sick in the past 2 days, and I didn't want to skip another week of streaming, so here I am. It's okay though. I've had a lot of fun talking to you guys, so I think in terms of mood, it's really picked me up, so don't feel bad. I'm very thankful. I think it was a stream well spent, and I got to get a couple days ahead on Lightmouse, so gotta always look on the bright side. I don't know, I'm kind of excited about the quarantine. I know that sounds stupid, but I'm excited because it's kind of like, I don't know, it feels like a sleepover or something. I don't know, there's this weird, childlike glee I think I have, where it's like, oh man, we can't go anywhere. What are we gonna do? We're gonna play games and have fun. Even though I'm not gonna do any of those things, I'm just gonna work. But I don't know, there's something to it. I just hope no other people get sick and stuff. That's good though, Unison. That's still, remember to stop and give yourself praise that's still a huge thing. You've come a long way then. That's a lot to be happy about. And I mean, sometimes it can be like your art block and everything can be for other reasons too. You might have family issues, or maybe you've got depression, or anything like that can also affect your creativity and all those things. Just remember that, the art should be for fun and for relaxing and not for added stress. And I think, then it can become therapeutic again with all the things that may be going on in your life. Bring it back to being that break you need from life. Don't let it become one of those things that is hurting your well-being. Because it's okay. Just tell yourself it's okay. Everything's fine. It's not a big deal. My dad always said small potatoes. Which I honestly have never thought about that, but I don't know what that means. But it seems like the right thing to say. Small potatoes. No big deal. I don't know if that means like big potatoes or big deal. I don't know what that means now. Either way, it seems right. I'll say it. Small potatoes. Right? I just want to ask about the potatoes. I don't know, and I also don't know if that's like a specific saying that only a specific group of people say. I honestly don't know where that even originated from. I've got research to do tonight. I don't even know what I've been saying now for years. It's incredible. Alright, anyway. I think I'll be done with this for now. I'm noodling. Now I'm noodling. These will be going up on Instagram tomorrow. This one in particular will probably be Tuesday. But I'm gonna cut out now. If anybody ever has any problems with like trying to get their art life together, please, before you give yourself an excuse, message me. I'll talk you back into it. Because you're not alone. It's okay. I know how this goes. And I'd rather you have somebody to talk to than nobody. The mystery of the small potatoes. Do-do-do-do. The truth is out there, man. The tato is out there. So yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll plug my socials in a minute again. But I'll be switching to YouTube at some point. Just giving you a heads up. If you're subbing to me, you might want to switch over. Otherwise, yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. I know it's Sunday night and not Saturday, but regardless, stay healthy. Don't get sick for 2 weeks like I did. Stupid conventions. Anyway, and then support fellow artists. These are the artists that would be at Emerald City, but since it got postponed, they're having trouble making back their money. So you might find somebody on there that you really like, support them, buy some of their work, and I'll see you guys when I see you. Probably next Saturday at the latest. Otherwise, I'll figure something else out. Anyway, take care. Bye-bye.